Hopefully my recorder won't stop recording this time. I'm going to talk today about a little bit about my story, where I came from, and why I do what I do. I started off, I've always been a bit of an artist. I've done pretty much everything from acting to dance to painting and drawing and singing and dancing, you name it. I even wrote my first screenplay when I was 15 years old. It was terrible. But needless to say, I tried it. Wrote a stage play at 18, and I always had an interest in film and didn't know what to do with it, didn't know how to get into it. I grew up in Edmonton, so it was a little challenging to get anywhere because there was just nothing going on there. So it wasn't until I moved to Toronto a bunch of years later, 1999 I think it was, when I finally walked on set for the first time as a background performer. And I remember from the moment I walked on set, I just felt like I was at home. I wanted to do more of this and just wanted to work in film. And so at that point I basically did whatever job I could in the film industry, did that for a bunch of years. And throughout that time I decided I wanted to make my own films. No idea how to do it, didn't start for a long time. And when the film industry took a bit of a hit in Toronto, kind of went south, quite literally actually, and I didn't see any recovery. I moved back to Alberta, I moved to Calgary, and really just got out of film for a long time. In fact, I stopped pretty much doing anything creative. I had kind of got caught up in survival jobs and was really unhappy with my life, and I kind of was left for a while with the sense that because I wasn't doing anything creative, I felt like I was dying, and it wasn't just sort of metaphorical, wasn't sort of one of those dying on the inside kinds of things, although that was part of it. It literally felt like I was physically dying, but, you know, I mean, how crazy is that? You can't die from not being creative, right? So I thought. When I started approaching the big 4-0, I started to realize that I needed to get back to my creative work, and I was really missing it, and I just wasn't having any fun in my life. But I needed some help, so I decided to get some coaching, and an acquaintance of mine, I'd spoken to him about coaching and his approach to coaching, which I really liked, which was, he was all about helping people get past their fears and past their barriers and you know, kind of jump into what it is that they're actually wanting to do, but yet maybe afraid to do. And I liked that approach, so I signed up. The first session was, we did a personality profile, and not very surprisingly, everything in this personality profile was about creativity. Everything. And he asked me when the last time was that I did anything creative. I'd stopped writing. The screenplay that I was working on was sort of on the shelf, and I couldn't remember the last time I did anything creative. And I just felt really disheartened by that. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, "You're dying. You need to get back to this work." And he said, the next thing out of his mouth was, and he says, "I don't mean metaphorically, I don't mean energetically, I mean physically, literally, you're dying." And the next words out of his mouth were life-changing for me. He basically said that if I didn't get back to it, I wasn't going to be around much longer. And it was a wake-up call, and I decided that it was just literally like somebody just slammed on the brakes, and I hit a wall, and it was like, oh my god, this is real. I'm not going to be around much longer if I don't do this. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get started. Put it out to the universe that this is what I needed. I needed some help. I needed help with the screenplay that I was working on. Didn't know where to go. Didn't know where to turn. And next thing you know, the next morning after I put this out there, I get an email, newsletter, advertising this online screenwriting course. And as soon as I started looking at the information, I knew, oh, it was what I needed to do. And it was expensive, but it was one of the best decisions I ever made. So that was the first thing that sort of took place after I put this out to the universe. Still didn't solve how do I learn how to make a film, because that was the real dream, like not just writing but making films. And you know, I've been looking into short-term courses, part-time courses, even full-time film school, which wasn't financially feasible. There's nothing in Alberta, nothing in Calgary. I couldn't even find anything in Canada that was short-term or part-time or combination of the two. And so I was kind of at my wit's end, and had a really depressing conversation with a friend, basically saying, well, I either need to move to Vancouver because there's no work here, no way to work my way up in the industry here, and I couldn't afford film school. She's like, well, you got to move to Vancouver, and that wasn't financially feasible, so it was really depressing. So after that conversation, I was ready to give up, but something in me was like, no, this is just a mirror of your own doubt. Just there's a way. Just figure it out. There's a way. Went out to work that afternoon. Came back, and I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to happen. I'm gonna figure this out. And I had this feeling all of a sudden to go on to the CSIF website, the Calgary Society of Independent Filmmakers. And I had been on their website for years and years and years, checking out their courses. It wasn't what I was looking for. And I was literally arguing with this little voice in my head saying, pushing me to go check out the website. And finally I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go and I'll prove you wrong. It's, you know, there's nothing there. And I go to the website, and same courses, and they have good courses, you know, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And I was about to click away from that page, and my eyes, my head literally snapped to the bottom of the page. It was like something else took over, and I'd see at the very bottom of the list, how to make a film 2012. Oh, the angels sing. And I clicked on it. I knew immediately that's what I wanted to do. I looked at the list. It covered like all the basics of filmmaking, and that was it. It was expensive. I signed up. I took the big leap of faith, and that was in 2012. I made my first film, a little goofy spiritual comedy called The Guru, which you can find on my YouTube channel and Vimeo channel if you're interested in watching it. And I've been making films ever since. And since then, I decided that I need to make a living at this. And I thought I'd use my experience and skills with marketing and storytelling and things like that to show you how powerful storytelling is in terms of putting your message out there, putting your passion out there, and showing people who you really are and what you're about, and they'll just naturally be drawn to you. So that's where I come from, and that's why I developed this video marketing business, and I'm still continuing to make my creative film projects, and that's still part of the big dream, and that's where it all comes from. So, you know, hope you enjoyed, and check out the rest of the website, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks.